Thank you to GameWorks Create for being a channel partner. Looking for a Kickstarter game you missed or 3D printed minis? GameWorks Create has a huge selection available, all at a fair price. Use the link in the description below to check out all that GameWorks Create has to offer. What's up, Rockstars? Today I got a tiny package from Legends of Signum. These are going to be some awesome minis, I am sure. We're going to take a detailed look at it right now. Now, as always, while I open this box, I'd like to thank my sponsors for today's video, which is my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that much of this channel is possible, whether it's the equipment that you're seeing me film this on, or much of the content that I show on this channel is thanks to them. This is an expensive hobby, and without them, I wouldn't be able to do this. It's a community-run channel, so if you appreciate what I do, and you can afford even just $1 a month, it helps me out a ton. I would greatly appreciate it. There's a link down below, but if not, that's okay too. I'm just glad you're here. All right, let's go ahead and cut all of this tape. My goodness. I'm excited to see these. I have seen some of my patrons paint some models from Legends of Signum, and they look fantastic. So I'm excited to see kind of what all the fuss is about here. And the design is super cool too. Wow, right now, so again, we're going to be looking at this top down, but the quality of like just how you get it is actually quite nice. I was not expecting this. You get a wide range of stuff from different miniature companies, right? Where sometimes it's just like they're just in a baggie, and sometimes you get a nice little box. Sometimes you get some cards, all sorts of stuff you can get. A wide range of qualities. So this was actually quite nice. It looks like we even get some stickers. So I got 2 stickers here. Very cool. I dig that. Nice little doodads there, and some free bubble wrap in case you need that too. Okay, so we're going to open one this way, and then we're going to go top down and look at the rest. Okay, I just want to kind of see what I'm looking at here, and then you can see my reaction instead of just a pair of hands, which is kind of cool, I guess. Soon I'll be having a second camera set up. Again, that's all thanks to patrons, and you'll be able to see both. Okay, so here you get the base. And then with that, you also get the card for the actual gameplay, which is quite nice because all of this is actually attached to a kind of a tabletop game. It involves terrain and cards and stuff like that, which is quite nice. And then this is kind of that baggie I was talking about, where a lot of times you just get them in a baggie. Sometimes on the sprue, sometimes not. I can tell you right now, these are really chunky. Nothing here looks broken, which is really nice to see. Minimal flash, some good detail there. And it looks like it'll actually build pretty easily. There's nothing too in the way of where the connection points are. It looks like they've actually already been pre-trimmed there for the most part, which is quite nice. So I'll need some nippers, of course. I'll be building these and I'll be showing them off. In fact, I think I'll probably build them and then show them to you. So we'll do it in that order. That way they're just already built and you can kind of see. And I can talk about how they built up as well. So you guys kind of know what you're getting into, whether you're here just for painting, whether you're here for the game, maybe a little bit of both. All right. Well, I struggle to put this box on. We're going to go and flip over to the other side, so I'll catch you in a minute. Alright guys, I've now built them all, and I wanted to show you how they turned out, and at least how I assembled them. I'm going to go in the order that I built them for no other reason than I need an order, and that seems okay to me. So right off the bat, I will say, first of all, I'm really impressed by the size of them. Like, they're actually pretty decently sized, as you can see. This is not bad at all. This is pretty big. So they come with round bases, but I didn't put them on the bases, and they all stand on their own just fine, though when you're playing the game, you'd want them on a base. I don't know if the rules require anything like that, but you just don't want them toppling over anything like that. One cool thing I did notice, and this is the only guy who had it in this thing, but he has 3 different arms I could have used. There's this one with the birds, which I ultimately chose because they look cool, but actually there's only some putty holding that in together, but it's a pretty tight fit anyway, so it holds pretty well. I'm not going to pick him up by it, though. There's another one that just has a ring that he's holding out. And then one other one as well, I believe that has another weapon out. I can't quite remember what the third one is, but either way, this was definitely the coolest one, I thought. They actually built pretty darn well. I was really impressed. The detail level, by the way, on this is very nice, as you'd expect with the resin, of course, but overall, the actual pouring of the resin seems quite good. There is a little bit of, I noticed, like, very fine-tuned. I don't even know if you can see it here. Only when you're like really, really close to it can you really tell. there's a little bit of like this kind of like layering that you can see visually. However, when I was, like touching up little parts like here and stuff like that, I never noticed it affecting anything when it came to, any kind of layerness or anything like that. So it seems quite good to me, though. Everything is pretty well attached. Like none of these broke off or anything like that. So I didn't have a hard time with any of that. For the most part, again, they stuck in pretty well. Lots of connection points and everything, just to make everything kind of flow really well. As you can see, though, I mean, detail-wise and just the sculpt design-wise, quite impressive. Very unique, very cool. I'm really, really happy with these guys. Very nice. And like the lines you can see, and I'm not the best at assembly either, but I thought this ended up quite well. You can see another line here. But again, primed and painted, this would look great. So really impressed with that. That's the first guy. Here, we'll set him down over here so you can see him all blurry in the background. Next is this lady, and this is actually the first time I came across any kind of problem. However, again, I think she looks great visually. So I like that she's not looking straight, she's looking kind of to the left. And in fact, her whole body is kind of inclined that way. Like, one of the nice things I like about sculpts is when they actually feel like it's attached to a person and not just rigidness. In other words, the person controlling it is either looking at reference art or something like that, or understands the skeletal structure enough to realize that, when you incline over there, you're going to lean your torso over a little bit. You're going to brace yourself on this support here. You're going to lean your leg a little bit more over to there and kind of angle it a little bit, as you can see. It just really, really nice. When I notice stuff like that, it just looks more believable. So I really enjoyed that. The hair texture compared to the hair texture of the tail, I really like. This is definitely floofy, whereas this is more like, hair, which I appreciate. And this is consistent across all of them. So I really like that too. The detail on the back of the chair, amazing. And it's one of those things where it's just really nice when you can turn around a Mini and be like, oh wow, okay. So that's nice. The wood texture, pretty good. It's maybe a little bit more shallow than I would have liked, just because I really want a wash to bring that out. But I think an ink would work really well on this. And the kind of the dragon ornate part here and the ornate parts of her armor robe and stuff like that, I think will end up really well. Also, one thing assembly-wise on this, I did notice. None of these come with instructions, and I didn't need instructions for any of them. However, this one I did come into a problem with. So it's resin, so I'm using super glue, not miniature glue, or like melts it together kind of slowly, and you get a little bit of play time. And when I did that, I had this piece here, and I glued her back to it, and then glued her head to it, and that's all fine and dandy. And then I had to glue this onto there. And the problem is that this needs to go on before her body does. So I had to I was afraid I was going to break it. As you can see, I ended up getting it, and it's pretty darn close. But this side and this back needs to go on before her body goes on, not after, or you're going to have a hard time really, putting it in there. I was still able to do it, and she was glued in because I went with the head afterwards, so she was, already hardened on there. There was no real... if it caused any more fuss, I would have put her in the freezer. Frozen her off and then maybe snapped her, but for the most part, none of the other ones I had an issue with on this. It was just her, but there was definitely a specific order I needed her to be in. The only other thing I noticed is her staff. I wasn't sure exactly where to put it. These are square, and so they fit in only a certain way, and that's ever so slightly bending it there. There wasn't quite enough room, and that might be because she's ever so slightly off. I don't know, because this seems pretty well aligned here. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's a great Mini. I'm just talking assembly wise. Those are kind of the two things I came up with. But overall, again, great. I love the curlness of the hair, even in the back there. Just a lot of detail. Again, anytime you can pick up a Mini and turn it upside down or turn it backwards, and you see nice stuff like that, that makes it for me. Anyway, I love that. The sculpts, by the way, I just went from one that's sitting, which I love sitting Minis because it's hard to do, to something like this. As you can see, very dynamic. He's not even on the ground, right? He kind of sits on there like that. And these huge ears with these big old rings in it. Odd and awesome character. Look at the giant anime sword, making Cloud jealous. That is just huge, right? With the ornate sides here, even two-handed. Love it. This is such a cool Mini. Just a neat little design, I feel. And again, armor looks great. I love how like skinny they are. I think that's kind of cool, especially this guy. And then again, huge fluffy tail. Just really, really cool. It's got a little bit of a ponytail going on here as well, which I think is pretty neat. Overall, again, very happy. Love the earrings. Love the big ear. There's like little tiny veins in it even. Almost like a bat or something. Just really, really impressed with it all. A little tiny dagger there in case he runs out of... Maybe he's inside of a building where he can't even swing that thing. So he needs a little tiny blade there for that. Like a samurai would have, right? They have one for the inside or, kind of close quarters and the one for the outside. So either way, very, very cool. This connection point held pretty well. If I was really, really fussy, I might be able to bend him ever so slightly and glue this in, but I really didn't have a problem, and he seems to hold pretty well there. And again, when he's on a base, you're going to pick him up either like from this or probably from this or from the base or something like that. So not too concerned. And really none of this resin broke, which I was happy with. That's always a risk you run. But throughout the entire assembly, nothing broke. Nothing even became close to breaking. Actually gave a fair bit of give. It was slightly bendy, but not as bad as something like the Finecast from Games Workshop. And obviously the detail's better too. I did notice some of them have this like little, you see this little design at the end? So he had that. He had like little, almost like caps or something going on there. I don't know exactly what those are. Just like little ornate things at the ends. I think she had something, he had nothing. And so I don't know if maybe that's how they rank themselves or something. I'm not sure. Again, not even on the base. So super dynamic. By using the tail to really sit flat on the base, they're able to do a lot of like jumping shots and stuff like this. No string, but a very nice sized arrow, not too fat, which you always kind of worry about, right? When you get these, sometimes they're really thick, but nice, and again, not broken, not even really bent. It actually ended up quite good. The only downside here is it wasn't quite where in the art, and where you normally put is on the top of like your finger there, but that would have bent it up a little bit. And again, this only fits in a certain way, this only fits in a certain way, so I'm happy with this, by the way, but I was hoping it would be a little bit taller there. Great connection points, by the way. So it's connected here. And it's connected actually right there. And it's connected there. So it's glued throughout. So it's like nice and sturdy, which I really appreciate. There's not really a lot of bending or anything like that, which was very nice. I was very happy about that. Because if it was only like here and here, you'd have this whole thing that if you accidentally picked it up or whatever, it would actually bend the plastic, the resin that they use there. And that would have been a bummer. But overall, pretty good. Again, everything fit quite nicely. I was happy with that. This one was kind of iffy, but only because it's a round connection point instead of like a slotted one like everything else is. Notice these are all cut flat. And I don't know exactly if that's normal or not. I mean, it's fine because you don't even see how this one ends. Normally I would think they would go to points, but maybe not. Maybe flat is what it is. I never really noticed it until I'm looking at this and I'm really paying attention. I'm thinking, I don't know if are quiver feathers normally like that? I don't know. You tell me. If you are a quiver expert, you let me know. It is on his back, obviously, so pulling those out of this big long thing is not possible physically, but that's all right. He can't put it here. It's got like these little potion bottles there, which look sweet painted, by the way. So a nice addition there. And again, I love the kind of the ornate stuff. By the way, the leather jacket. I want to paint this black with studs. That'd be freaking sweet. I think it would be. Anyway. That's the minis. I get very happy with them. I'll go ahead and put a link down below in the description to kind of show you guys what these are all about, but very impressed. More than I thought I would be. These are very, very nice resin minis that went together beautifully, that didn't need a lot of cleanup at all. They do need cleanup. Every mini needs cleanup, but honestly, I was quite impressed. Everything fit together quite well. There was no real big trouble spots or anything like that. Really, really happy with them. All right, that's it. That's all I had. So I'll let you guys go. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys again next time. Bye, guys.